Hi and welcome to Classic MGB. Well, we've come to the end of another year in the MGB community, and what a great year it's been. We're going to take a break for a week or two over the Christmas and New Year period, so we thought we'd take a quick look back over 2025 and remember some of the highlights. All the videos we mention are linked in the description below, so feel free to take a look. This channel would be nothing without the great support of our viewers, so a big thank you to those that support the channel by watching our content and of course making comments. We love reading and responding to them. So let's get started. We kicked off the year with a preview of some of the MGB related events that were taking place in 2025, and I'm really glad that we managed to get to most of them. Despite the cold, we were in the garage, showing how to change the MGB's oil and filter, and we also did a deep dive into how we protect the underbody of our MGB-GT with Lanagard and wax oil. Viewers' Cars episodes also featured strongly in January with Chris Hayes' super restoration in California and Marilyn a lovely MGB in Worcestershire. Remember, if you'd like your car featured in our Viewers' Cars feature, just drop us a line. Over the 100 years of MG, the branding has changed quite considerably, although it's always been based on the historic octagon, and we explored these changes in our video entitled The MG Logo Story. We've always attached a lot of importance to encouraging the next generation into appreciating classic cars, and so, practicing what we preach, my daughter Holly drove my MGB-GT, a car that's more than 20 years older than she is. We'll be letting my son Josh have a drive in 2026 when the weather gets a little better, so watch out for that one. March was a really busy month that started with us back in the garage and tackling an issue that strikes fear into many MGB owners, the MGB electrical system. We covered some basic electrical theory as well as the typical diagnostic tools that are needed, as well as some practical examples. One of the two largest classic car shows in the UK, the Classic Car Restoration Show, took place at the National Exhibition Centre in Birmingham, and we were there to capture the highlights. We produced another Viewers' Cars episode featuring Robert Baldwin from New South Wales in Australia, and we also released a video on how we wash our MGB. We rounded off the month with the celebration of the 100th video on the channel. We started April with a look at the Kuhn Berlinetta, the forerunner of the factory MGB-GT, and a very rare car. Worth a lot of money if you can find one. As the weather improved, Holly and I ventured out on the MGB Register Spring Run, where we, along with loads of other MGB owners, met up for a great drive on some excellent roads, starting at Millets Farm near Abingdon and ending up at the beautiful National Trust property, Stowe. We also made a special feature on the Australian MGB story, which focused on how MGBs were produced in Zetland in Australia, mainly from knockdown kits, although more and more parts were sourced in later years. May was another very busy month and kicked off with some great spring weather for Drive It Day that saw Josh and I on a trip through the beautiful Cotswolds to the Classic Motor Hub in Bybury, where we found some really lovely MGBs and chatted with their owners. We started our series on MGB People with a video on the man that started it all, Cecil Kimber, and we'll be adding to the series in 2026 with others that were instrumental in the MGB story. We also visited Kimber House to chat to a group of members of the French Young Members branch of the club who were touring various locations in the UK. It was great to see so much enthusiasm from younger members. One Sunday, the Julie Group, especially for owners of MGB Jubilee and LE models, took over the Market Square in Abingdon, and it was great to see so many of these cars in one place in such an iconic location. Finally in May, we popped along to Unit 70 to film Dan Cook and the team fit a power steering kit to an MG RV8. An interesting accessory and certainly one the owner appreciated when we came along on the test drive. Traditionally, June is one of the busiest months for events, and our uploads clearly illustrated this, starting with the fantastic MGs in the Park at the Cotswold Wildlife Park and organised by the Oxfordshire MG Owners Club. It was great, and particularly interesting for us was the celebration of 60 years of the MGB-GT. The MG Car Club celebrated its 95th anniversary with a very special lunch in the British Racing Drivers Club headquarters at Silverstone. It was great that the event was so well supported and attended by many well-known MG enthusiasts, as well as MG Motor that provided goodie bags to everyone. Local shows form the backbone of the classic car world, as us enthusiasts just love displaying our cars and nattering about them. We went along to one such show very local to us, the inaugural Steeple Ashton Classic Car Show, which was really well organised and enjoyed by all. Let's hope it continues every year. Another mainstay of the classic car hobby is the Auto Jumble, and we went along to Haynes Motor Museum and found some super cars on display, as well as some interesting memorabilia, including a 1960s rally game, which we just had to buy. Before we continue our look back over the year, I'd just like to mention the Classic Vehicle Prints website. This is an online outlet for technical drawings by well-known illustrator Graham Jenner. It features lots of classic cars and simply masses of MGBs, both roadsters, GTs, chrome bumper, rubber bumpers and special editions. Our classic MGB poster is also available. A3 copies of all the images can be ordered direct from the site and can be shipped worldwide. Okay, back to 2025. Our first video in July featured the celebration of the 100th anniversary of the original MG, Old Number 1, recreating Cecil Kimber's historic drive to Land's End. We assembled the final video from lots of clips and photographs supplied by spectators, as we were unable to attend the Easter event. We tackled the thorny question of insurance by offering a range of tips on how to select the right classic car insurance policy and some of the differences to a modern car policy that you might want to consider. Another local show took us to the Atwell-Wilson Motor Museum near Carn in Wiltshire on a seriously hot summer's day. There were so many cars there as part of the show, we didn't get a chance for a good look around the museum, so watch out for a video on that in 2026. It's always interesting to get a view of the MGB market by visiting dealers that specialise in selling them, so we took a trip to Midlands Classic Motors, based in Kings Swinford in the West Midlands. They always seem to have a good range of cars available and offer nationwide delivery, so they're well worth a look if you're in the market for an MGB. We rounded the month off in the garage with a video on the theory and practical aspects of the MGB ignition system, another relatively straightforward topic that many owners fear. Our first video in August featured our MGB-GT and the accessories that we fitted to it. Whilst keeping it fairly original, we've added several items that have improved the driving experience, such as a modern CarPlay stereo unit and improved seats. The MGB Register picnic at the wonderful Millets Farm Centre was a particular highlight on another roasting summer day, with lots of MGBs, as well as some interesting other cars, some not even MGs. I remember the heady days when there were annual motor shows at the National Exhibition Centre and also Earl's Court in London. Sadly, Earl's Court has gone and the motor shows of old are no more. That said, they've been replaced with an outdoor event in the summer. We were curious, so popped along to Farnborough for the British Motor Show and were very pleasantly surprised with a range of exhibitors to suit all age ranges and interests. Finally, in August, we publicised the changes to classic car legislation that had been introduced by the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Agency. It basically simplified the rules that apply to replacing various car parts, and it was nice to see the UK government actually doing something that helps the classic car community. We don't do many reviews on the channel and try to feature products that could be really useful for MGB owners. One such product that we were sent in September was the GRE Pro 5-in-1 unit that offers a tyre compressor, a light, a power bank and a powerful jump starter capable of starting most MGBs. First weekend of September saw us taking our longest trip yet in the GT, more than 300 miles to the Croft Circuit near Darlington for MG Fest North. There were loads of super MGBs on show and plenty of track action, which included a track parade, which we took part in. It will be a great circuit to drive in anger, although a long way to go for us for a track day. Sadly, illness prevented us doing a full video of the super Castle Combe Autumn Classic race meeting, but luckily Josh came to the rescue and shot a wide range of stills from which we created a montage of some of our favourite cars on track. October saw us back in the garage, but not working on the car this time, but attempting to improve the weather sealing of the garage itself, by installing a garage-eye threshold strip. This was to prevent leaves being blown through the gap at the bottom of the door, and to date it seems to be doing its job. One great museum that we've always wanted to visit ever since it opened was the Great British Car Journey based in Ambergate in Derbyshire, and we decided to take a look on the way to MG Fest North. It was well worth the visit, and it was great reminiscing about the cars that I remember my dad, mum and other relatives driving in my youth. As part of the celebrations of the MG Car Club's 95th anniversary, the club held an open day at its Kimber House headquarters in Abingdon. It was a great opportunity to catch up with lots of fellow enthusiasts and see a few examples of historic MG memorabilia. Watch out for a full video on Kimber House in 2026. The 20th of October saw the 60th anniversary of the launch of the MGB-GT, which happened at the Earls Court Motor Show, coincidentally the day before I was born, so the model holds a very special meaning for me. To celebrate the anniversary of the car not me, we produced a special video all about the history of the MGB-GT. The final video in October featured a visit by our local MG Owners Club to a rolling road tuning facility, JPR Tuning, based in Yate on the outskirts of Bristol. The company offered a rolling road session for all members at cut price to identify the power output and torque of their cars and potentially identify any improvements. As winter drew in and many classic car owners put their cars away until spring, many flocked to the National Exhibition Centre in Birmingham for the Classic Car Show. This year there was so much going on, we decided to release a preview of the show to highlight some of the things we were most looking forward to. Of course, we also produced our usual video of the event and managed to grab a few words with classic car legend Mike Brewer, Practical Classics editor Danny Hopkins, as well as Michael Merkin from the MG Car Club and Richard Monk from the MG Owners Club. Of course, there was also a massive range of cars on show. In fact, we've decided that if the 2026 show is as big as this year's, we'll need 2 days to see everything. Sadly, November saw the sad death of outstanding motoring journalist and classic car expert Atwell-Wilson. We took the opportunity to pay tribute to this legend by reproducing one of my favourite programmes, The Car's the Star, all about the MGB, written and presented by the great man. Finally, we summarised some of the major changes that were announced or leaked in the government's autumn budget and how they might affect the typical MGB owner. We were relieved that a number of measures that could have had a significant effect on the classic car community that had been floated before the budget didn't happen. December saw us at the Octane Historic Motoring Awards at the very posh Peninsula Hotel in central London. The MG Car Club were up for the Club of the Year award, and the guest of honour receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award was none other than legendary car designer Giorgetto Giugiaro. Just being in the same room as this icon of car design was very special. We also returned to Unit 70 for the MGB Register Technical Workshop, where Graham Dix and Mike Barclay from the Register shared their knowledge on MGB servicing and adding relays to MGB headlights. So there you go, what a superb year. We've had great fun producing all the content, and it's been lovely to see in the comments how well it's gone down with our viewers. Once again, thank you so much for your continued support of the channel. If you enjoy our content, we'd really appreciate it if you give our videos a like, share them with anyone that's interested, and also subscribe to the channel. As I always say, it really helps the YouTube algorithm get our content to new viewers that might be really interested. Finally, as I mentioned, we're going to take a break between Christmas and New Year, so we'd like to take the opportunity to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a happy and successful New Year. We look forward to producing loads more MGB content in 2026. As always, and for the last time in 2025, many thanks for watching and take care.